dock.
I told you to stay... Someone's coming!
Get away from me, you crazy knife ear! Just stay away from me. I'm leaving, all right?
Spare a silver for a war veteran? Oh, Andraste, bless you, sir. I won't forget your face. No, I won't. Cousin? Welcome home. Come in, come in. We assumed you were with the other wardens at Ostagar. Things, have been difficult since you've been gone. The healers took him into quarantine a few days ago. I'm sorry, cousin. She went to the hospice a week ago. They said she had the plague. I didn't believe it. I mean, she was fine. But they took her to quarantine. I haven't seen her since. I don't know for certain, but Valor seemed to be in perfect health. A house on the north side of the square. You can't miss it, cousin. There's a huge crowd there now. All right. It's good to see you again, cousin. To see you again, friend. You were so generous to me before, and these are other veterans.
I'm an orphan.
Oh, and an orphan. Please, my lord, can you spare some coin? I am insulted. A veteran campaigner, am I? And Oli is as bereft of parents as anyone's ever been.
My mom is especially dead.
No need to mention that, Oli. Will you help us? Oh, you're too kind. Just too kind.
The Maker preserve you.
Long live the good sir!
Elves plant these trees to remind themselves of who they once were, and then they pee on it. Charming symbolism, really.
I've got children at home. I can't wait out here for another day.
So go home. The best thing you can do for your children is not trust these charlatans.
Everyone remain calm. We will help as many as we can today, so long as we can do this in an orderly fashion.
Oh, you're helping us, are you, Shem? Like Valendrian and my Uncle Syrian, you helped them, didn't you? Help them never to be seen again.
We've explained this to you before, girl. More whining will not persuade us to let you into the quarantine to carry plague back out to the alienage.
Quit trying to get us all killed, Shiani. Some of us have still got things to live for.
If this spell of theirs works, why are half the people they quarantine perfectly healthy? I don't believe it. Maker's breath. They said all the Grey Wardens died with the king. Everyone thought... Valendrian even held a funeral for you. Cousin, you have no idea the things that happened after your wedding. I'm babbling, aren't I? I'm so happy to see you.
Now this sounds like a curious tale.
Still, you never told me you were betrothed. What happened?
The wrong cake. Disaster indeed.
So much has happened. It's good you're home. Well, maybe we should go somewhere so you can be sitting down when I tell you this. I know. You don't flinch from anything, cousin. But the Tevinters quarantined your father yesterday. I told him not to go to the hospice. Not one elf they've taken in there has come out again. Who knows what's become of them? It came from the Blight. That's what they say, anyhow. People fleeing the Darkspawn brought it with them. After the refugees arrived, people here got sick. And these Tevinter vultures began circling, taking people out of the alienage a few at a time. That's just it, cousin. Many of the people they take away aren't sick, not even an occasional sniffle. I knew you'd do something, cousin. Make her watch over you.
No, you can't go inside just for a moment. So you might as well walk right back around to the front doors. You shouldn't be out on the streets now anyway. What with the plague? Look, this is how things are. I didn't make the blight or the plague or anything. I'm just trying to make a living. Not enough to put up with all these questions. What do you want? 6. Sure. I never saw you, and you never saw me. I have finished.
Haha, they're all so eager to die, aren't they?
Of course. So I shall.
And how?
So I shall.
You'd think they would run away more.
We're not sick! Let us out of here! Thank you. I knew the things they said about you weren't true. It doesn't matter. It's obviously not true. I mean, you're here now, right? Helping your people. We're getting out of here. Andraste watch over you.
Well, well, look who's here. Welcome home. When we heard what happened at Ostagar, we assumed the worst. Have you been to see Shiani and Soros yet? And would it kill you to let us know you're alive once in a while? What, is a Grey Warden too important to visit family? Our new Arl decided Vaughn's death was reason enough to send soldiers into the alienage. They tore the place apart, cut down anyone who so much as looked at them. There were bodies stacked in the square for weeks. It's no fault of yours, lad. Men like Vaughn and Howe don't wait for a reason to do harm. When things quieted down again, well, then people started getting sick. A little coughing at first, and in a few days you're out of your head, seeing things, hearing things. The whole household gets it. In 2 weeks, everyone in that house is dead. They line up out there at first light. Some come while it's still dark. They're waiting to see the mages. I know what you're thinking, but the Chantry sent a Templar as soon as they heard the word magic. If the Chantry didn't send these healers away, it must be safe. I might have a few things for sale. Off the record, of course.
What happened? Some of the elves ran out, but I didn't recognize any of them. Where are all the others? Let me see that. What does this even mean? They can't be shipping people, can they? Shipping them where? No. People go in, but they don't come out. They aren't shipping anything out of there that we've seen. They could be moving through the back alleys. There are all sorts of buildings back there. They could be using one as some sort of warehouse, staging area. There are apartments off the alleys. I would go to the back of the hospice and maybe follow the alley from there. If you find any more information, please let me know. I refuse to accept that they're all simply gone.
Who's there? Stay away! I haven't seen nothing. Please, just leave me alone. All right. I saw them take everyone. Took them right out of their beds. Dragged them down the hallways. Maker, the little one's crying. They took him through here yesterday. Looked like a dead man. Through the landlord's old office. They go in there, they never come back. Every few days,
They come back. It's like a parade, a silent one. Men and women and children. You have to go. They'll be back soon. They'll find out I talked and they'll take me too. Please, just go.
What's this? Another shipment already? We weren't... Wait. You're no Tevinter. Who are you supposed to be? Oh no! I heard of you! Attack!
Couldn't we all just get along? All right, of course. As you desire. And so I found the light of course.
A fine move!
Meaning of this? We were told that there would be no interference from the authorities. No, you look like an elf with more curiosity than sense. You will regret this, you know. Believe it or not, we have been given dispensation to do our business here. The humans talk a great deal about how very wrong slavery is. But isn't it funny how quickly the smell of gold overcomes such ideals? So this makes us kin? Don't be a fool. I am Tevinter first and a servant of the Minrathu Circle second. Those are the things that matter. But enough. I am here to halt your slaughter, nothing more. I am no fool. I can see that you are capable. So be it. I will let Caladrius deal with you while I fetch the Regent's men. I suggest you leave while you still can.
Out.
I am Caladrius, and you, I assume, must be the Grey Warden I've heard so much about. One can hardly get a word out of the Regent besides Warden these days. It's surpassed even gold in popularity. Now, is this how we begin? With bluster? I was hoping for civility. Are you certain you wish to commit such rash action, Grey Warden? Look around you. Surely we can reach some kind of compromise. Pity. Looks as if we shall have to settle this the hard way, then. My apologies.
All the
See,
noise
we are not
above.
alone.
Enough! Enough! It seems your reputation is an accurate one. I surrender. Wait! Hear me out, kind sir. Were I to use the life force of the remaining slaves here, I could augment your physical health a great deal. Allow me to leave this place alive, and I would be more than happy to do this little service for you.
An interesting offer, if a tad messy.
So, is my offer of interest to you, yes? Then, I don't suppose you would consider just letting me go? Ah. Well, that is a shame, isn't it?
As you desire. Of course. All right. So I shall.
We are ridiculously awesome.
Son, is it really you?
When they said all the Grey Wardens died at Ostagar, I prayed they were wrong. Are you all right? What are you doing here? I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. You're so much like your mother. She'd be... well, proud really doesn't describe it. This isn't a good place to talk. Come to the house. There's something I should give you.
Cousin, you're amazing. Which I shouldn't say to your face because it'll go to your head, but it's true. Are you sticking around for a while? You're staying for dinner, aren't you? You'd better. I'll weasel a bottle of wine from Alarth and we can catch up. I'll hold you to that, cousin.
There he is! Now, no crowding. Let the good sir breathe. There are a lot of unfortunates in the alienage, sir. Many veterans, orphans, the diseased, and sad tales of all sorts.
I still don't have my parents.
Yes, sir. And poor Oli still doesn't have his parents. Anything you can spare would be appreciated.
After the riot, many people were left without a home, sir. Don't have a copper between us.
You're like a hero here, good sir. Oli and I hadn't eaten for a week before you showed up.
I, found it?
You aren't a real beggar.
All I heard was there was free coin over here. Fine.
Every one of us, except the one you rightly pointed out. All of us are unfortunates. So sorry, friend. Honestly, most everyone here has a sad tale. You've been good to me and Oli. They just heard of your good deeds, is all. Oh, huzzah! Huzzah for the hero of the Denerim!
All of us are eating tonight.
Did you need something, cousin? She spends most of her time at the hospice, screaming obscenities at the Devinters. You can't miss her. All right. It's good to see you again, cousin.
Let me get a look at you. Maker, don't they feed you, Wardens? You're all skin and bones. I expected looters, but I'm not missing much. Here, this is for you. I should have given it to you before you left, but with all the trouble, I didn't get the chance. It belonged to your mother. I think you should have it now. I know you'll do great things. You already do. Sit down and eat something. Don't they feed Grey Wardens? You're all bones.
I'm glad you made it safely away. I hear Howe's death has already brought no small amount of cheer to the city. We went through our joining together, more years ago than I like to remember. He was exactly the same back then, tough as stone and just as grizzled. I think he understood sooner than the rest of us how ugly a choice it is to let the few be sacrificed to protect the many. Always left himself a soft spot for his recruits, though. Only way he ever let himself down. When I'm well enough, I'm going to continue my journey toward Ostagar. Hopefully I'll be able to trace the heart of the Blight and where the Archdemon itself abides. If we want to defeat this Archdemon, we need to know where it is and how soon it might strike. If there were more of us, I would agree. But as it is, I don't think we can deprive all the armies you've gathered of a commander. It's located just off the Market District in the northern alley past the Old Noble Tavern. I'll sketch out the code which will let you pass the lock wheel. Inside you can take your pick of whatever equipment remains. It is the stockpile the Wardens have kept for centuries for the defense of Denerim. Well, I'd be happy to tell you what I know. But it seems to me that you've picked the important parts up yourself. Be firm in your beliefs, protect people from their own ignorance, and be as loyal as you can to your brothers, even knowing you'll share their deaths. It's tough to say. Only the fortress in Weishaupt has every record. But there are certainly a few dozen or hundreds in every nation in Thedas. The Anderfels are home to over 1,000. It's almost like the Archdemon chose Ferelden deliberately, knowing how unguarded it is. Once only, and I'd rather not go again. It's far, lad. And very foreign. The Wardens there, they fight Darkspawn like you and me. But they're shaped by the winters there and the forest. They're a cold group and don't care like they should about the rest of the world. Their king is weak, and many Anders look to the Wardens to rule. I hate to say this, but some of them seem to want it that way. It was near 1,200 years ago, and no one knows for sure, except that it began with a group of Anders soldiers. Apparently, they defected from their king's army, vowing that fighting the Blight was more important, and traveled all the way to Tevinter themselves. They were the first ones to track down the Archdemon Dumat, and the ones to slay him, though none survived the battle. But they had picked up followers by then, and it was they who formally founded the Order, and were recognized by Thedas. Archdemons don't awaken on their own, you know. It takes the Darkspawn, tunneling and tunneling, searching for centuries to find one. And with no one to lead them, it must be sheer chance, or maybe instinct, which leads them. What's surprising isn't that it takes so long between blights. What's surprising is that they succeed at all. But I imagine the old gods call to them, and it's that voice in the darkness which drives them through so many generations. The important thing to remember is, none of that matters. When you're facing Darkspawn, all you need to know is to stop them at all costs.
Ah, there you are. I was about to send out a search party. I've been hearing of a great commotion in the alienage. What exactly happened there? Make her forgive me. I should be appalled that such a thing could exist here. But I'm overjoyed you can implicate Loghain. We must end the civil war quickly. What the Blight does not corrupt in this land, politics surely will. The last of our allies have arrived in the city. We cannot delay any longer. I will call for the Landsmeet to convene. Bring Alistair and join me at the palace as soon as you are ready, Warden.
Wait. I know you. My son described you in great detail. He tells me that I owe you his life. When I saw my poor boy's legs, I only wish House still lived that I might tear him apart myself. I would bring troops against his son. But Oswin tells me Thomas had no part in his father's depravity. Is there anything you would ask as a reward for saving Oswin? Thank you again. Know that I will stand behind you at the Landsmeet with all the support I can muster. In fact, I am taking my supper today with Ban Reginalda of the White River Benorn. I'll speak with her about this at once. Everyone in the city has. Ryland must be pleased.
Wonderful. Another one. I suppose you're here to ask for a donation too. Boy, take your petition to the Darkspawn if it's so important to you. They hold my Arling now. I hear they're charitable folk. Shouldn't you be dead, then? How quick did you cut leash and run at Ostagar? No matter. I've nothing left for you to take, Grey Warden. Not even my sons. You're wasting your time here. What do you think happened? Did the Blight escape your notice? War claims the young and strong first, and Plague doesn't care about skill or bravery. There's no point talking about it. Leave me. I've nothing for you anyway.
That half-blood is as cold as the mountains. Did they not serve together?
How tells your brother?
May I help you? This is Ermenric's.
Explain yourself. My brother would no more part with this ring than with his head. Loghain? What does my brother have to do with him? A dungeon? What? No. I will go to him at once. Someone will answer for this. Take this with my thanks. It has been in my family since the War of Crowns, crafted for us by the Circle of Magi. An heirloom is a small thing compared to my brother's life.
This shield. It's Duncan's, isn't it? That's his crest. Thank you. Truly, I had no idea his shield wasn't with him. This is perfect. I don't know how else to express my gratitude. This means a great deal to me. I can't believe you remembered it at all. I'll treasure this. Thank you.
My lords and ladies of the Landsmeet, Tyrn Loghain would have us give up our freedoms, our traditions, out of fear. He placed us on this path, yet we should place our destiny in his hands? Must we sacrifice everything good about our nation to save it?
A fine performance, Aemon. But no one here is taken in by it. You would attempt to put a puppet on the throne, and every soul here knows it. The better question is who will pull the strings. Ah! Here we have the puppeteer. Tell us, Warden, how will the Orlesians take our nation from us? Will they deign to send their troops, or simply issue their commands through this would-be prince? How much Ferelden blood does Orlesian gold buy these days?
Some of us are curious, Loghain, about precisely what happened at Ostagar.
So, one of Kaelin's killers would dare speak of betrayal. You led our king to his death with your grandiose tales of griffins flying into battle.
What's this? There is no slavery in Ferelden. Explain yourself.
There is no saving the alienage. Damage from the riots has yet to be repaired. There are bodies still rotting in their homes. It is not a place I would send my worst enemy. There is no chance of holding it if the Blight comes here. Despite what you may think, Warden, I have done my duty. Whatever my regrets may be for the elves, I have done what was needed for the good of Ferelden.
Indeed. Do we not owe it to Merrick to see his son on the throne?
If he were a true son of Merrick, I would not hesitate to swear fealty to him. But I see nothing of Merrick in this pup. But enough of this. I have a question for you, Warden. What have you done with my daughter? You took my daughter, our queen, by force, killing her guards in the process. What arts have you employed to keep her? Does she even still live?
I believe I can speak for myself. Lords and ladies of Ferelden, hear me. My father is no longer the man you know. This man is not the hero of Riverdane. This man turned his troops aside and refused to protect your king as he fought bravely against the Darkspawn. This man seized Kaelin's throne before his body was cold and locked me away so I could not reveal his treachery. I would have already been killed, if not for this Grey Warden.
So, the Warden's influence has poisoned even your mind, Enora. I wanted to protect you from this. My lords and ladies, our land has been threatened before. It's been invaded and lost and won times beyond counting. We Fereldans have proven that we will never truly be conquered so long as we are united. We must not let ourselves be divided now. Stand with me, and we shall defeat even the Blight itself!
Southreach stands with the Grey Wardens.
Waking Sea stands with the Grey Warden.
Dragon's Peak supports the Warden!
Western Hills is with you, Loghain. Maker help us.
I stand by Loghain. We've no hope of victory otherwise.
I stand with the Warden. The Blight is coming. We need the Grey Wardens.
Traitors! Which of you stood against the Orlesian Emperor when his troops flattened your fields and raped your wives? You fought with us once, Eamon. You cared about this land once. Before you got too old and fat and content to even see what you risk. None of you deserve a say in what happens here. None of you have spilled blood for this land the way I have. How dare you judge me? Then, let us end this. I suppose we both knew it would come to this. A man is made by the quality of his enemies. Marek told me that once. I wonder if it's more a compliment to you or me. Enough! Let the Landsmeet declare the terms of the duel.
It shall be fought according to tradition. A test of arms, in single combat until one party yields. And we, who are assembled, will abide by the outcome.
Will you face me yourself, or have you a champion? It is you or me the men will follow. So, let us fight for it. Prepare yourself.
All right. The light. All right.
I underestimated you, Warden. I thought you were like Kalen, a child wanting to play at war. I was wrong. There's a strength in you that I have not seen anywhere since Marek died. I yield.
I didn't just hear you say that. You're going to let him live? After everything he's done? Kill him already!
Wait, there is another option. The Tairn is a warrior and general of renown. Let him be of use. Let him go through the joining. What does loyalty matter? We are what we are. The joining binds us to the Darkspawn. You know this. If you were to forswear your oath and flee today, you'd find yourself in the deep roads, or the Blight lands given time. You'd seek them out, or they'd seek you.
The joining itself is often fatal, is it not? If he survives, you gain a general. If not, you have your revenge. Doesn't that satisfy you?
Absolutely not! Riordan, this man abandoned our brothers and then blamed us for the deed. He hunted us down like animals. He tortured you. How can we simply forget that? Joining the Wardens is an honor, not a punishment. Name him a Warden and you cheapen us all. I will not stand next to him as a brother. I won't! Loghain is a traitor. We need him like we need to be stabbed in the back. Or have you forgotten how his being a great general didn't help the last time? I didn't want to be king. I still don't. But if that's what it takes to see Loghain get justice, then I'll do it. I'll take the crown.
Listen to this. Can you see how disastrous a king he'd be? Putting his own selfish desires above the needs of his country? You can't seriously support him.
And I thought you weren't going to stab me in the back. Funny how nothing ever turns out like you thought.
Alistair, compose yourself.
Fine, you want Loghain and the Grey Wardens so badly? Then I'll be leaving the Wardens to marry Honora. Watch me.
This can be discussed later. We are keeping the Landsmeet waiting.
Right.
And now, lords and ladies of Ferelden, there is still a blight to defeat and armies to gather. And I appoint this man to lead us in both. We will not allow this land be further threatened by the Archdemon. Gather your forces and await the Warden's command. On the morrow, we shall begin our struggle against the greatest threat Ferelden has ever faced. And we shall triumph over it, for we are Ferelden.
Yourself to the Taint for the greater good. From this moment forth, you are a Grey Warden.
I understand.
So it's done. My father lives, and for good or ill, he is now a Grey Warden. Thank you for giving him the opportunity to undergo the ritual. It couldn't have been easy. He does indeed. And my future husband is upstairs, no doubt glaring out of the window and pouting. He is so much like Cailan, it's disturbing. The Darkspawn run rampant over half of Ferelden. We are all about to have a very bad day. Arl Eamon has left for Redcliffe, and tells me that our armies have almost fully gathered there. I will be heading there myself. Bring your companions, and join us at Redcliffe Castle as soon as you are able. You have united Ferelden, Warden. Now we face the Blight.
Oh, there you are. Come to offer congratulations, I suppose? Maybe you intend to throw me a party to celebrate my engagement. Neither do I, really. But it's too late for that now, I think. I don't know why you made Loghain a Grey Warden, but he's tainted it for me. The man is a traitor, and you gave him the greatest honor I can think of. There is no way to make that right! No way at all. But why should I complain, right? I'm the king now, and with a beautiful fiancée who is going to remind me of her father every time I look at her. I'll make the best of it, I guess. I'm not going to roll over and let Honora rule, that's for sure. Well, good luck, I suppose. You have a lot to do now. And so do I.
I passed your test. Fate has a twisted sense of humor, it seems. I suppose you think I'm some sort of monster. More so since I survived your ritual. You keep striking at me, and I just refuse to die decently. You're a poor liar, you know. It's kind of you to say so all the same. We must settle things between us somehow or other, or neither of us will get any work done. So, what will it be? Yes, well, you can thank me for that later. I don't know what concession you want from me, Warden. I expect my word will not satisfy you. Indeed, I'd almost forgotten that. Thank you for the reminder. I think it's time we got to the point here. What do you want from me? I can't imagine that you spared my life in the Landsmeet by accident. You have some plan in mind. That's the harsher punishment, certainly, and I can hardly argue that it's more than I deserve. I suppose I ought to be grateful. I have at least some chance now of putting right some of the things I have done. Despite what we each wanted, we're both here now facing the same enemy, and we can be of use to one another, however little we may enjoy that fact. I never doubted that. We should speak no more of this at present. Time's wasting. Did you want something? Hate doesn't describe it. I've seen painted, masked lords beat an old farmer to death with riding crops. To this day, I don't know why. Is that hate? I saw good, sensible men fight armored chevaliers with nothing. No weapons, no armies, not even hope of success to see the occupation end. Is that hate? You won't believe me when I tell you this, but it doesn't matter. I never fought because I hated Orlais. This was for Merrick and for Eldon. I didn't want to start a war, I wanted to stop one. I failed. So I suppose my intentions don't amount to much. In any case, there's no use discussing this. We have much work left to do. Very well, then. He was my friend. If he'd wanted to conquer the Fade, I would have led the charge. There are men who inspire such devotion that everyone around would lay down their lives for him. And there are men who would come and go from this world, and no one notes it. What makes them so? Your guess is as good as mine. Merrick was remarkable. That's all I can say of him. I was hunting, well, poaching, to be entirely honest, when a boy my own age came stumbling out of the woods. He was so dirty, you'd have thought he'd been dug up out of the ground. The traitorous bootlickers who'd just murdered the Queen, though I didn't know it at the time. He was bloody, exhausted, and obviously being hunted. I offered to take him to my father's camp. Yes, I didn't find out who he was for a while. But I've rattled on for too long already. We should get moving. He nearly did. Merrick was never one to avoid his duty. And given his preference, he would have acknowledged his son no matter the circumstance. But he had more than his honor to think of. It would have ruined Rowan, after all. She'd be reduced to a concubine in the eyes of our neighbors and put Caelan's status as heir in question. So Merrick made the hard choice. Eamon offered to raise the boy, and that was that. I was turned by then, and a general. You can buy respect through birth or by bloodshed, I found. But we've been idle long enough. We should get moving. Very well, then. I suppose that depends on how much of the kingdom was left by then. Once the border was secure, the army would have regrouped to push back the Darkspawn in the south. It's easy to say now. When chevaliers were massing on our doorstep, things were a little less clear. In any case, there's no use discussing this. We have much work left to do. Very well, then. Anora always did have a flair for the dramatic. She could have been a bard. Anora is a politician at heart. There's one thing she knows. It's how to move people. Well, I'm sure having you come to her rescue gave Anora no small amount of pleasure. But enough about Anora. We ought to get moving. Of course. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised at your success. You beat me. Perhaps you can do this after all. Do you want something? I suppose I have a moment. Eamon is a shrewd man. He'll be advising the boy. He'll do all right, I suppose. Doing all right is not the same as doing well. Your friend may get good advice from Eamon, but he's weak. All the bands know it. You can see them. A pack of wild dogs waiting for a bone. The first chance they get, they'll pry concessions out of him. They'll pick at the throne until it's only a gilded chair with no power or authority at all. Because Eamon, for all his merits, is a conservative man. He believes in tradition and inheritance, and would never see the daughter of a freeholder, however gifted, in power. I was a Terran, but my father was a farmer, as was his father and all the generations of Muktirs that history remembers. And Celia, my wife, was a cabinet maker's daughter. Hardly a royal pedigree. This discussion profits no one. I may be wrong. I will certainly hope so. By all means. Honora is a good queen. She has been for 5 years now. Whatever she might think, I never took power from Honora. She may have felt threatened, but I most pointedly did not remove her from the throne. In all seriousness, Honora is formidable. You should know that by now. They always have before. Few among the nobles have ever been under any illusions as to who really held power in Denerim. Honora is strong enough to endure. She may make a few mistakes along the way, but she'll survive them. But this isn't the time to discuss such things. By all means. So far as anyone could tell, she was the undisputed monarch of the whole world. She'd fall, skin her knees, and command them to stop stinging. It may have worked, too. She bleeds just like anyone. Or are you surprised that my daughter ever fell down? If you're expecting some particular insight into my daughter's character, I'm afraid I'm probably not the best source. I'm hardly impartial. I think you already know the answer to that. But this is not really the time or place to discuss my daughter. We have work to do. Go ahead. Of course.
Thank you. It occurs to me now that you have freed me from the crows, and yet I did not think to thank you for it. No matter why you did it, it was done, and I the benefactor. So, thank you. You say that so quickly, and yet it is an odd thing for me to hear. In the crows, we do not have friends, and yet here you are, and I cannot help but consider you such. Then allow me to say this. What we are doing here, stopping the Blight, I cannot think of anything I have ever done which is so worthy. I intend to see this through to the end with you. After all, someone must take responsibility for preventing your untimely death. A suitable task for a friend, yes? If someone had said to me just a year ago, Zevran, my lad, you're going to fail against your most important mark, and it will be the smartest thing you've ever done, I would have slit his throat. So, yes, I'm right with you on the never know what's going to happen bit. I believe I founded the club.